The Mercedes-Maybach S600 sedan is a classy luxury vehicle. Sadly, such a vehicle is something I'll never afford on an infographics writer's salary. But you know who owns a pair of armored 2018 Mercedes-Maybach S600 sedans worth close to 500 grand each? North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, and your bank might have helped him pay for them. Since the Korean War in the 1950s, there have been a few cycles of implementing and easing embargoes and sanctions on North Korea from the US and several other countries. In the last 15 years or so, each time North Korea conducts a nuclear weapons test or commits other infractions, the UN, EU, and several countries enact new sanctions. Currently, UN resolutions include banning North Korea from exporting gold, titanium, and rare earth materials, as well as coal, seafood, textiles, and lead. The EU also restricts elite North Korean citizens from purchasing luxury goods, traveling abroad, as well as targeting their financial assets and limiting banking transactions. Also, most importantly, sanctions prevent North Korea's import of weapons-related materials and petroleum products. But it's a cat-and-mouse game. North Korea is constantly attempting to find ways around sanctions, especially in regards to being able to build weapons. Kim Jong-un rules through fear and repression. He's extremely dependent on North Korea's nuclear program to showcase the military might of the country, not only to promote North Korea and intimidate other countries, but to maintain fear and patriotism in the hearts of his citizens. So how does North Korea funnel large sums of money into the weapons program? Are banks and other countries complicit in these schemes? New evidence reveals shocking ways North Korea funds its nuclear programs. Your bank could be involved. In the spring of 2020, the U.S. Justice Department pursued the agency's largest sanctions violation case ever. They indicted 28 North Korean and 5 Chinese citizens, alleging that they were behind an international money laundering enterprise. The clandestine web of fraud enabled over $2.5 billion in illegal payments from North Korea's nuclear weapons and missile program in violation of U.S. sanctions. Apparently, the 33 dependents operated out of several countries including Russia, China, Thailand, Libya, Austria, and Kuwait, running covert bank branches and more than 250 front companies to mask transactions and ultimately transfer funds to the Foreign Trade Bank, or FTB, North Korea's primary financial institution. The convoluted scheme had been running since 2013, when the U.S. Treasury Department Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctioned and blacklisted FTB from the U.S. financial system in an effort to directly limit North Korea's weapons building. Each covert branch or front company operated differently, depending on which country they were established in. The Justice Department is still untangling how some of the fraud maneuvers worked. So far, they've seized more than $63 million in laundered funds. Foreign financial institutions often maintain accounts in U.S. correspondent banks. Basically, correspondent banks support international wire transfers for foreign customers in currency that the foreign customer's local bank normally does not hold on reserve, such as U.S. dollars. This allows foreign entities to receive deposits, make payments or disbursements, and other transactions. FTB was blocked from using U.S. correspondent banks directly and indirectly. However, the secret banks and dummy companies hid the fact that the money originated from FTB. Therefore, correspondent banks processed payments they should have rejected. Front companies worth hundreds of thousands of dollars also made payments to U.S. companies with money that originated with the FTB. In addition to hiding the origins of money, North Korea had bypassed financial sanctions through offshore accounts, cryptocurrency hacks, and ransomware attacks. So in a real-world example, a North Korean hacker steals a couple million in bitcoins. The stolen bitcoin are sent through peel chains, or long chains of automated transfers to new addresses, with small bits and pieces of currency slowly peeled from the whole and sent to exchanges. Because the amount of sent bitcoin is small and comes from new or different accounts each time, the transactions don't trigger safeguards in place at the exchange, and the small bitcoin amounts are converted into hard currency. The hard currency ends up in the hands of a covert FTB branch, who obscures the money origins further and hands off the money to a correspondent bank. Via the correspondent bank, FTB is able to further transfer the money or use the laundered money to purchase legitimate goods or services. Remember Kim Jong-un's Maybachs? A private buyer backed by a front company or correspondent bank account might purchase the luxury goods, oil, or weapons materials. The purchased cargo is then shipped through a variety of freight forwarding companies in several different countries. Sooner or later, most likely the cargo ends up on a merchant ship flying a flag of convenience, sailing in the Western Pacific. Often these ships have complicated or shady records which obscure ownership and origination of the vessel, which can cause jurisdiction problems if the ship is stopped. Mysteriously, the merchant ship turns off its transponder and can't be tracked for days, if not weeks, at sea. After delivering its cargo to a North Korean port and returning to the sea, the merchant ship transponder suddenly begins working again. Often, money laundering and the import of sanctioned goods by North Korea is able to happen because of complicit institutions or officials who, in the pursuit of making money, choose not to look too closely at the paperwork crossing their desks. This has been an ongoing issue with some South Korean and Chinese institutions. The spring bust by the U.S. Justice Department is only a drop in the bucket and has at least temporarily closed some loopholes for North Korea. Most likely, the majority of the defendants charged will never go to trial as they have returned to North Korea or reside in other places where their chances of being extradited to the U.S. are low. Some U.S. officials believe that the best way to stop North Korea laundering money is to hit colluding institutions with millions in civil penalties or serious indictments. However, it's a delicate issue, and enacting an enormous penalty could damage U.S. relations with China and other countries. As long as North Korea is able to keep laundering money and funding its nuclear program, Kim Jong-un will proceed with missile testing. The U.S. Justice Department bust is only the tip of the iceberg. Will we be able to shut down North Korea's nuclear program before it's too late? And now that you reached the end of our video, why not keep the watch party going? Could we stop a nuclear missile from North Korea? Click here to find out. If you want to know more about how Kim Jong-un bypasses sanctions, click here.